All right, we're going to go through a very quick introduction to PowerPoint. Since most people have played with PowerPoint or at least Google Slides at some point in their school career, we're just going to try to touch on some basics that maybe are not the same as how you would do them in Google. So let's take a look at some important things that will be on your final exam with regards to PowerPoint. Of course, we all know these are called slides. And we have a slide deck, which consists of multiple slides, and we have this nice little view that lets us see all of our slides. There are some different views that you can get into down here on the bottom left-hand or bottom right-hand corner. This is normal view, where you see it all. Slide sorter view, which is kind of nice because you can scoot things around, so you can pick them around, pick them up and drag them nice and easily. Reading view, which kind of makes it like a storybook. And then the last view is running the slideshow, which you can also press this button in the top corner, start from beginning. And this actually runs the slideshow full screen, just like you would do it if you were doing this in class for a presentation. So that's just your basic views. We're going to work in this normal view. And I would encourage you to try to do it along with me if you're in a lab where you can. All right, so let's talk about how do we duplicate a slide. So on your home tab, there's a slides group. This is how you can create brand new slides, and you can choose what slide layout that you want. To duplicate a slide, you can either be clicked on one and on this new slide button, go to duplicate selected slides, or just simply right click and duplicate the slide. So let's duplicate that first slide and drag the copy to the very last position as slide 5. Let's go ahead and look at inserting a slide with a layout. There's a button here that says layout. This would change the layout of the current slide. If you want to insert a new slide with a layout, you would just choose any of these layouts and you can insert your slide that way. Let's change the layout of this second slide. So this already has a bulleted list. Instead of going to new slide, I'm going to go to layout of the slide and we're going to switch it to content. That's going to put these items in a bulleted list of their own. And then we have what they call in PowerPoint placeholders. So these are your placeholder boxes. And they don't show, when you show the slideshow, you don't see the placeholder boxes. Inside the placeholder boxes are these little content placeholders. So if they have you to insert a content placeholder, they're just telling you to click on one of these little buttons. So for instance, if I click on online pictures, then I could come in here and type Santa. And they're going to look through, good old Bing is going to look through, and then I can choose a picture of Santa to insert into that box. And if you insert them in, they're always going to put like where the image came from, which you can either delete or you can leave there. So we've got that on there, and now we have used a content placeholder. Now what's a little bit more fun, of course, is going through and adding animations to your slides. So to add an animation to a slide, on this slide 2, we have a nice little Santa in a sleigh. To animate him, we're going to go to the Animations tab. And on the Animations tab, you have the option to just choose Animations or click the More button, which we've used in the past, to give you more. There's entrances, emphases, and exits. And then there's also motion paths. That one's really fun, by the way. Motion path will let you draw a path or use a path, and then you can make him like go in a certain direction. I'll just do that for fun. We'll click on motion path and custom path, and I'm just going to point my mouse at Santa and then at Santa in the sleigh, and I'm going to go woo, and then take him off over here somewhere. And when you let go, you have to double click to let go, and then look, oh, there he goes. Oh, I didn't get him all the way off. That's okay. I'm going to use my zoom button in the bottom right hand corner, and then you can see where he ends. There is a position here. If I double click on that, you can see some effects of the custom path. You can bounce them at the end. You can auto reverse so he turns back around. You can add sound. There's lots of little fun things you can do there. You can also grab a hold of the path and move the path if you wish to as well. Okay. I'm going to undo that, but certainly you could try that out for size. If you're using this button to add these in, though, you can only add one that way. So I like to use this plus sign button to add animations if you want to do more than one. So let's say that I want that to fly in, but it would look better if it flew in from the corner. So once you add the animation, you go to your effect options and you can say, where do you want it to come from? So if they tell you to modify the effect options, that's what they're talking about. Now it comes from the bottom right. Now, if I want him to do something after that, don't go back in here. You're going to go into the advanced animation, add animation, and then you can give it a second thing. For instance, I can make him spin around. Yes, so now he would fly in and then spin around. Now I'm going to click on him again, and I could give a third one. I could have him exit. And so let's say I want to have him fly out. So I'm going to say fly out, but see, he's going the wrong way. And then go to effect options, and we're going to fly him out to the top left. And there he goes. And that's what it's going to look like. Now it's kind of fun to preview these by using the animation pane, also under advanced animation. If you click animation pane, this opens up. Each of your items, they don't name them. I kind of hate that. There's no names, but picture 8 will light up so I can know what picture 8 is, picture 6, so forth. So you kind of can figure out when you click on them what's what. So this is all picture 6, right? And picture 8 is going to be the one I already have animated for you, which is this gift. So it's kind of hard to tell. You can rename those, by the way, by going to the Home tab and then going to Select and opening up the selection pane. And here is where the names of all of those are. So I could go in here and say, all right, this is the gift, and hit enter, and this is the sleigh. And I could change that and hit enter. All right, and so sometimes they have you do that in the book as well, just so you can figure out what things are. It makes it a little easier. So I'm going to hide the selection pane. So we can see the gift is going to happen. If you hit play all, I'm going to click on the top one and play from that. So there goes the first thing, and then there's that, and then there it goes. Now you can click on any of these. If you double click again, these effect options will come up, which give you some settings. Or I like to just use the animations tab and then go over here, and you can set things like the duration or a delay. Like for instance, if you want it to last longer, if I want it to fly off longer, this third one is flying off. So I'm going to tell it a duration of like 2 seconds. Now if I do it, see, it flies much slower. Okay, so that is how we change the animation direction and the duration. The next thing that we're going to look at is how to insert a video. So I'm going to come over here to this Hope Christmas is Great. I'm going to insert a video, which is on the folder for you as well. You go to Insert, go over to Video, and Video on my PC. Hopefully you have the document downloaded for the video. I've gone ahead and downloaded mine into a PowerPoint review folder. Notice when you put it in, it's going to have a little bar on it, and you can grab a hold of your corner and make it, fit however. It's going to have a playback bar, and now we have video tools at the top. There's format and playback. So there's lots of different things you can do in here. Like if I don't want to see this picture of him in the bathtub, I could change the poster frame, and I could play this to a certain spot and then pause it and then choose like that and say poster frame, current frame. And now instead of showing the bathtub Santa all the time, it'll show this one. So you can set your poster frame. You can also set things like the text alternative. They'll have you do this on pictures as well, but it's done the same way. You just click on it and you would put what it is. It's an Oreo commercial, so I can put that in there. So if they tell you to add a text alternative or alt text to something, an object, that's all you're doing. You're just looking for the special box that says alt text and typing it in the box. Pretty simple. Okay, so now that I have this video on here, if I were to play my slideshow, it's not going to play automatically unless I tell it to. So we go up here to playback, and then we can choose what to do. So right now it says start in the click sequence. That means I have to click my mouse for it to play. You can click that and say start automatically, and it would play immediately when that slide begins. So that's an option there. You can also tell it when you're done playing, rewind the video. And it's going to ask you to do that as well. So rewind after playing. You could even trim the video so it starts at a different point. So like if there was something funny at the beginning or at the end of a video, if there was like an outro you didn't want, you could use trim video, and you would just go in and pull these in to trim it. So there's lots of fun little options in there. You can even have it fade in or fade out over time as well. So I'll just add a little bit of a fade here. Now I'm just going to play this quickly. So I'm going to click on it, hit play, I don't know if this will play where you can see it. There you go. See it faded in, and then it starts to play. Okay? And again, these are under the special tools we get when we're clicked on a video. And they've got lots of different options there. All right, one of the other things they have you do is to take a bulleted list and convert it to SmartArt. Now, what you don't do is go to the insert. I know you feel like you should, but that's not where it is. It's in the paragraph group of the Home tab, which is where it was in Word also, you might remember. Most of our Home tab looks identical to Word. So click Convert to SmartArt, and then you would choose which one. I'm telling you to enjoy a bunch of things, so you can choose whichever one sounds good to you. You put your mouse over them, you can see the different ones. I'm going to just click on the basic matrix. Then again, when you're clicked on a SmartArt, you have your tools. So you could go through here. I'm going to change my colors to be a red that matches a little bit more to what we have here. And then you've got all kinds of different fun SmartArt objects to choose from in your SmartArt styles. And we've done styles lots of times. So doing styles shouldn't be anything that's super new. Now, if we were to play this right now, there's nothing animated about this slide, but we can make the SmartArt animate as well. So when you're clicked on a SmartArt, and you want to be clicked on the box, the bounding box of the SmartArt, when you're clicked on that, you can go up to your animations, add an animation if you want like the words to fly in or whatever. I'll just click on this one. Let's say float in. The whole thing floats in. So one of the things you can do if you've got a SmartArt or even like a bulleted list, again, you've got to click on the box. You don't want to be clicked on an individual piece, is go to Effect Options. And then we have one called Sequence. And you're going to see this a lot of times with bulleted lists and with SmartArts. So I can say one by one. And if I say one by one, that slides in, and then each piece slides in individually. So again, that's under Effect Options and then Sequence. All right, so the last couple of things that are covered in your chapter is adding footers and headers and printing. If we were going to print this out, we could go to File and Print. And then you have the option. If we printed it right now, we'd waste a lot of paper because it would print all 5 pages. There's different options for printing. Over here where it says full page slides, I could say, you know, I just want handouts. So in the handouts section, maybe you want 2 slides per page. That's what they're going to look like. And then there's a header in here that's the date and a footer that's the page number. So if you wanted to modify the header or footer of your slide printout, you would do that right there. Now, if you wanted to modify a header or footer of the actual document, that is under Insert, same place that it is in Word. Insert, under the text group, header and footer. But you can't see a preview, like you can't, it's going to put it on the slide. So like it's not like Word where you can just double click out there. So it can say here, include on the slide, on the actual slide. Right now there's no header or footer. But let's say that I just want to have a footer on the slide that says like created by, and then, you know, my name, created by Tanya. And then apply to all. Or you can say don't show on the title slide, which is pretty common. It's kind of like not putting a page number on a cover page or whatever. So don't show on the title slide, and then just go ahead and hit apply. And now I didn't hit apply to all, so it didn't go on all of them. Let's do that again. You want to hit apply to all, obviously. So here we go. Don't show on the title slide. Footer created by Tanya. Apply to all, but it will skip that title slide. So there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. And this is a title slide. And these are called title slides because the layout for them is title. So don't be confused by the fact that it didn't put it on the last page. Well, it didn't because it's a title slide, even though it's not the first slide. So if you use that layout, a footer is not going to show up on those additional ones. All right, lastly, let's go back into Slide Sorter View. One of the tabs that I did skip over is Transitions. Transition is going from one slide to the next slide. You can do this easily from this view. You can do it in the other view too, in normal view, but I'm going to do it in here. So going from this slide to this slide, I can choose a transition, like split. So see how that one's going to split? Or I can come here and just do a simple fade. You can see these preview in here, so I like it. Flash, which is kind of a crazy one. Let's say fall over, so that one falls over and this one creates. So again, this is under transitions. And then you can tell there's a transition because this funky little icon appears. And when you click the icon, you can preview those transitions. I think I've covered everything pretty much. The one thing that I haven't covered that is the same as doing it in Word is compressing pictures. If you recall, to compress pictures, we just basically went up to File, and on the Backstage view, you would hit Compress. So this is the same as it is in Word. And I have a video in here too. So my option here is going to want to compress my video. But you would have the option if you were doing a project where you could compress the media as well. And this is where you're going to go to do that, just right there in that Backstage view. And that's just the same as in Word. All right, I think I've pretty much covered it. Here are the things that you're going to see on your final exam about PowerPoint. You can always go back and do the PowerPoint training as well. All right, I hope you play around with PowerPoint and have some fun.